So good morning, welcome and thank you for joining today this journey to the effective asset and life cycle management with universal protection relays. My name is Yelitza Rojas. I'm an electrical engineer with a master in business administration and have been working in the energy automation area for almost 25 years now. I'm currently located in Siemens headquarters in Nuremberg, where as product portfolio consultant, I'm responsible for the introduction of new products and technologies. Today, I want to show you how the universal relay supports you effectively in asset and life cycle management. The fundament of the improvement is the separation of hardware and functionality. And therefore, we will talk first about the universal relay as device, and then we'll see how to add the desired functionality. At the end, we'll discuss some use cases for new and existing installations. Siemens modular device relay is called SIPROTEC 7SX85. And when we develop this device, we focus on the challenges our customers face daily. That is why we decided to go a step beyond with the SIPROTEC 5 platform to offer a way to optimize even more investment and operating costs. To enhance the flexibility of the product to allow you to react promptly at any time, either when building a new substation or even afterwards when the system gets modified, much likely to happen nowadays due to the distributed generation and prosumer integration. In the following slides, I show you how the SIPROTEC Universal Relay 7SX85 can support on this. The practice today is to use specific relay types for different applications. In a substation, we can have around 10 different types of devices or even more. So the new approach is to use a universal relay, which can be adapted to cover the specific functionality required in each bay. In such a way, the same hardware can be used across the complete installation. With this approach, a single device type can be converted into a distance protection, or a feeder protection, or a machine protection. All the triple 3-pin protection devices listed here can be covered by the SIPROTEC 7SX85. Control functions such as automatic voltage regulations and phasor measurement unit, among others, are also available, as well as the full set of cybersecurity features. The universal device makes operation easier through simplified patch management with uncomplicated integration of new security features and also effortless device drivers handling. The Universal Relay 7SX85 belongs to the SIPROTEC 5 family and enjoys the same modular hardware. The basic module can be ordered in 3 different versions. The first one with only 8 currents and no voltages. The other 2 versions, both with 4 currents and 4 voltages. One with more inputs than outputs and the other one with more outputs than inputs. Additionally, all I/O modules can be used to extend the capabilities of the device up to 443 binary inputs, 225 binary outputs, and 64 analog inputs. And up to 4 plug-in communication cards can be added. As any SIPROTEC 5 device, the 7SX85 can be extended to up to 2 racks of 19 inches and can contain redundant power supply. The device functionality can be freely configured to fit the protection, automation, and control functions required in any 3-pole 3-pin system. including the selective detection of all types of ground faults in compensated or isolated electrical power systems. So, the 7X85 integrates multiple device applications. Talking about spare parts, with SIPROTEC 5, it's possible to optimize them as it is no longer required to keep complete devices in stock. Typical basic and I/O modules can be stored separately and assembled when required. This benefit is even bigger when the variety of basic modules is minimized thanks to the universal device. So now the benefits for you at a glance. When you are using universal relays, the device variety gets significantly reduced, which also decreases the number of spare parts. The devices on stock have minimum functionality, which reduces the capital employed. However, you are ready to start as additional functions can be ordered on demand and paid when downloaded. Initial investment so low as possible, but nevertheless so flexible as desired. I'll elaborate on that in the next chapter. Now that we know that a single device type can cover all the 3-pole applications, let's get a closer look on how the flexibility functionality works. Maybe you know already the SIPROTEC 5 platform. The typified SIPROTEC 5 devices contain a set of basic functions based on the device type. Let's take an example with the distance protection 7SA8. In this device, the distance protection can be always added from the Dixie 5 library without need of function points, as it is one of the basic functions of this device. Other functions, such as the auto recloser, can be added if the device has enough function points available. That is, additional functions required function points. In the universal relay, there are no predefined main functions. Required functions can be flexibly added from the library, while every function requires a defined amount of function points. The user easily converts a universal relay in a transformer protection or in a line protection. Being able to use several main functions at the same time. The user defines the functions he wants to use, calculates the corresponding function points needed, and adds them to the device. There are 2 options to add function points. The first one, the device is directly ordered with function points. And the second one, the device is ordered without function points and they are added later on using the function points manager. In the first option, the devices can be acquired only when the engineering is finished. With the function points manager, the procurement and engineering can run in parallel. And the customization of the functionality will be done right before starting the testing phase. The advantage: the project development time is reduced, fast reaction time for changes occurring short before testing or commissioning is granted, and the best, this easy modification of functionality remains available during the complete life cycle of the device. You order the device first, paying only for the hardware, Later on, you add the very specific functionality you need in each device. The workflow in the Function Points Manager is really simple. First, you get ready by creating a user account and ordering a budget of function points. You don't have to pay for them at this time. When the time comes, you can create and download yourself the license files with the exact amount of function points you need and upload it to the SIPROTEC 5 device. The function points will be invoiced only when you download license files, which means you are also improving your cash flow management. Let's summarize the benefits of the Function Points Manager. Devices can be ordered at an early stage. Function Points budget is purchased independently from the device. Device functions can be defined very late in the engineering process and then very quickly and easily imported into the devices. Function points are invoiced only when you download the licenses files. And by the way, function points can be used for all types of SIPROTEC 5 devices. Now, let's see the benefits that universal devices can bring to your new and existing installations. In distribution networks, we normally find transformers, lines, generators, capacitor banks. All these protection types can be covered by the SIPROTEC 7X85. This is also valid for industrial facilities where predominantly two types of bays are found: motors and feeders. The 7X85 can cover both functionalities. You can take the same hardware and adapt it to the different applications. The identical device type SIPROTEC 5 7X85 can be used for multiple requirements. The simplification in engineering is also a plus with the universal device. Let's take this example with 5 different types of typicals. You can start a based parameterization. Right from the beginning, you can save engineering time by using one of the predefined templates that you find in Dixie. You adapt the identical parameters. In this case, 4 of the 5 typicals have the same braking devices, measuring points, display pages, time synchronization, generally used protection functions, and so on. So you deal with all these parameters only once. Then you save this base parameterization in a so-called user application template. And this really specific user application template is then adapted to the particularities of each typical, completing the main protection functions with the protection missing and also specific CFC logics. You optimize your engineering even when using different hardware modules in the devices. But the benefits are not only visible for new installations. When you use universal relays, you stay in an excellent position to adapt your system to any upcoming challenge in your grid. It can be the change of protection in the line base, an adaptation of a scheme due to a new local renewable generation, or any other arising requirement, you name it. The adaptation is straightforward. Open the parameterization in Dixie5, delete the protection functions that you don't require anymore, insert and parameterize new protection functions, and, if required, extend the hardware or communication modules, for example, the protection data interface in case of a line differential protection. And ready! In a SIPROTEC 7S885, it's possible to switch between main functions in a very simple way. And even if you have an installation with typified devices, you could still benefit from a universal device. Let's assume you need to exchange a protection device for any reason. For example, because the grid is developing due to the addition of new generation, and as a result, you need to replace the existing distance protection by a line differential protection in this line bay. You replace the 7S886 module by a 7SX85. Remember that with a universal relay, you can replace any three-pole 3-pin device. You don't need to exchange the complete device, as the existing I/O extension modules can still be used. And the best, you can easily convert the existing 7S8 parameterization for the 7SX85. Keep in mind, the universal device could be also used as a spare part for your existing 7SJ85. Moreover, with the 7SX85, you can actually use the parameterization of any SIPROTEC 5 device. The parameterization is converted with a couple of clicks. The existing parameter set of the 7S886 or 7SJ85 can be exported using the Totally Integrated Energy Automation Exchange format, or TIAX, and then imported into the 7SX85 parameterization. That's easy. Then you can download the parameters into the devices. So now it's time for the summary of the session. So we have seen today how the universal relays bring advantages during the complete life cycle of the devices. Peace of mind while planning, as the customization of devices is done at a late stage. Speed up of the construction due to early hardware acquisition and improved engineering process. Full flexibility that helps you to reduce the implementation times and to react prompt and efficiently at any time, and smoothly operation by simplification of the patch management and device drivers handling. All these advantages represent economical improvements as well. First, better cash flow management due to the hardware and software separation. Devices are ordered at a minimum cost before engineering is finalized, and the device functionality is extended just before the testing phase. And the functionality will be invoiced after the generation of the license file. Second, less investment due to a single device type. The variety is decreased and the size of the stock is also reduced. And third, shorter project development times, thanks to the independency of the procurement and engineering, and also by the use of the user application templates. So we have come to the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Now I'm more than happy to answer to your questions.
Thank you, Yelica. And I can see that the presentation was definitely of high interest to our auditorium because we received a lot of questions. Since we have just 8 more minutes for this presentation, I'm pretty sure that we will not be able to answer all of them, but be assured we will answer the unanswered questions afterwards via mail. But let's just start. The one is kind of a time framing question. When will the universal devices be released for China?
That's a very good question. So we started with a stepwise introduction for this universal relay. So we started in Germany and then we have been adding different countries. So I cannot tell you right now exactly when it's going to be available in China. But if you are interested, then please get in contact with our sales people locally, and they will make this summit with us, and we will come back with a soon introduction for you as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And the next question, is redundant power supply possible for busbar protection relay as well?
Yeah, I mean, the complete Cyprotec 5 family in the modular devices can be equipped with redundant power supply. So for the 7S85 and the busbar protection is also possible.
Okay, thank you. I think the next question you partly answered at the end of the presentation, or at the third part of the presentation, but nevertheless I will ask you, can full-fledged devices similar to, now it's a long list, 7SA or 7SD8 or 7SL8 or 7UM8 and 7SK8, I hope you know about these numbers, can they be achieved in 7SX8 or will need additional function points and then cost of the device increases?
So let's start with the possibilities. As I mentioned before, you can use the universal device, the 7SX85, for any type of application that involves 3-pole tripping devices. So yes, you can convert one universal device in a line protection, transformer protection, and so on, needing 3-pole trippings. Now, regarding the price, basically it depends on the functionality that you want or you need to include. If you have a lot of functions that you want to include in your application, then most likely you will come to the price of the typified devices or even a little bit higher. Yeah? But if you have less protection functionality included, then you will have less cost. That's also the benefit. You will select specific the functions that you want to use and you will pay only for them. So you won't have anything unused in your system.
Thanks, yeah, comprehensive question, comprehensive answer. Thanks a lot. The next one is, can we use 7SX8 relay such as merging unit in busbar protection applications?
The 7SX85 device can be used as merging unit, and therefore you can also integrate it as part of the busbar protection. In addition to that, maybe someone is asking afterwards, well, I will also say, this device can be also used as the subscriber of the sample measure values. So the device is supporting completely the implementation of the IC 61850-9-2 and is managing the both type of streams, the light edition and also the flexible streams. So you can have the application that you need inside the process bus technology also covered by the universal device. Yeah.
Quite a comprehensive little box, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think we had some webinars around that, and that's definitely a topic of the future.
Sure.
We take time for one last question, and this is, are there hardware limitations on importing main functions? For example, in theory, it is possible to procure one device with all necessary main functions for substation.
Can you read that again?
I read that again, and I'm not sure if we understand it correctly. Are there hardware limitations on importing main functions? So in theory, it is possible to procure one device with all necessary main functions, for one substation. Eventually, something like that. That would be substation control in my understanding, because we talk about bay protection, don't we?
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm following the question, but I will try to answer two possibilities. So the first one is you don't need to acquire the device with all the protection functions, because as I said, basically you can acquire the device only in hardware, and afterwards then you will be able to add functionality according to the way that you want to cover. And the second option is maybe you are thinking about kind of a central protection. And in this case, yes, of course, you can use several protection functions in the same device. So you will be able to cover the line protection with a transformer and several feeders. So it is possible to cover a small, let's say, central protection with this universal device. My recommendation for this case is always just try with DXC. You make your configuration with DXC, and if there is any problem with the capacity or so on, then the system will tell you. That's pretty easy. But basically, yes, that's something that can be achieved using the 7SX85 as well.
Thanks, Jelitza. That was a great answer to a question. Thank you, Jelitza, for your time here, for this interesting presentation, for all the answers to the questions we could deliver in this short time frame. Thank you for being there in the exhibition and for chatting there. So take care, everybody.
Welcome.
And yeah, and goodbye for now.
See you there. Thank you.